So today we're going to do a fun recipe that can be done at any level of, skill and desire and stuff. This could be a DIY craft. Your kiddos could do it. Your kiddos could do the more advanced version of it. It's fun. It's a good time. It's something that you could probably sell if you wanted to, or it's something that you could just do and keep around, which I personally do and think is great. And I will tell you more about what this something is in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And you are here for a week of demystifying and debunking and really reacting to weird stuff on the internet. And this is not exactly a weird stuff on the internet, because I did want to just kind of throw in a fun recipe for funsies that you can do. It's lighthearted and awesome, but also because I remember a sudser having asked about it in the Discord, and I never did get around to filming a video. And since I had to make some of these, I realized that I had not gotten around to filming a video, so I thought, hey, I should do that, guy. And so what we are going to do is we are going to be using a sponge that has been compressed, right, for shipping and all of the things. That can be essentially a washing sponge that you soak in cold process or melt and pour, and then, you use it in the shower. I'm going to talk about the process using both cold process and melt and pour, and give you some tips and tricks for it, as well as how I use it in my life. And hint, I use it all the time because I love this. This is by far my most favorite product that I make, but I do not sell. It's an easy peasy, beautifully awesome craft. 5-10 minutes of your life. You can use so many different things, all of your excess batter from whatever. Let's get to the video and we can talk all about it. Okay, since we were doing weird stuff with melt and pour yesterday, I thought it's only right that I share with you my secret shame and weird stuff that I put into melt and pour soap, and and cold process soap to that, and show you how I do it. And the reason why this is weird is because I have no idea what these sponges are made out of. And so I have not made these on the channel before. I have not recommended them. I certainly would never sell them. I don't really know what they are, but I love them. And I, am just going to put that out there into the world. So I don't know. You're going to want to do your own thing with all of this. I will give you the link to what this is actually, in the description. But for this process, whether you are doing the melt and pour or the cold process with the sponge itself, you're going to want to hydrate them. Why? Because they come teeny, teeny, tiny. And so you wet them and let them sit to get to their full, bigness. And then for the cold process version, you're obviously going to want to let it dry out completely, so we don't have any extra water. I'm sorry, for the melt and pour version, you're going to want to let it dry completely, so we don't have any extra water hanging out in the recipe itself or in the soap. But for the cold process version, you can just squeeze out all the excess moisture and leave it damp, and that's completely fine. Now, this particular melt and pour that I am using is the melt and pour that I showed you a couple days ago with the milled soap video. And so this soap, if you remember, I had told you that I do this soap for my wholesale customers who want to have a cut your own option in their grocery stores. And so, yes, it is melt and pour, it is remeltable, but it has lower levels of glycerin in it to ensure that there's no humidity problems and, glycerin dew or whatever on the soap loaves themselves while they're at the, grocery stores in open air. And so it is meltable, as you can see, but it's not going to be as thin and as fluid as a regular melt and pour. If you used a regular melt and pour with a higher level of glycerin, this would be a much easier process, but it is still basically the same process. You pour a bunch of melt and pour over it, and you move it around until the sponge itself is very, very saturated. Now let's move on to the cold process version. We can talk more about the sponge itself. Okay, so for those of you who've been around forever, you may remember that in like year 1 or year 2, I did a video or a couple videos when we were doing bath sponges and like cutting them into weird fun shapes and whatever. And I was talking about this product that I was obsessed with that I got in an Ipsy bag once. Now this is from Spongel, and I loved everything about it because it was essentially what they called it was a body wash infused body buffer, right? Great exfoliation on it. It lasted so long in the shower. I really, really dug it. But it specifically did say that it was not recyclable. So I'm like, well, that's not a sea sponge. So I don't know if I super like that. And so I didn't really do anything outside of making like baby shower favors if people were specifically asking for them. But then I was still using a regular body sponge and cutting it up. And it was a weird thing, you know, like a sea sponge. Anyway, point is, I have never sold any of this or done anything strange with sponges outside of that, but I've always been obsessed with that Spongel sponge. And so I saw these actually, and I bought them because they are made for the pool. And I bought them for the swimming pool because it says that it sucks up oil and, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, cool, it sucks up oil. That's great, because the regular sponges that I use, like the sea sponges, when I was trying to recreate a Spongel or whatever, it didn't really do great with holding on to like copious amounts of soap. You know what I mean? And so I didn't like that. But then I saw these that I got again for the pool, and I tried them and I was hooked because they soak up so much soap and they last so long and they have the exfoliation. And again, I don't know what they're made out of. Anyway, these are sold and marketed as for the pool or whatever, but I have loved them in cold process, in melt and pour, and yeah, it's just kind of this process. You melt some stuff down, or you use your extra soap stuff that you have because, you know, you did a complicated pour with dividers, which is coming next week, and so you'll get to see the end results of that. You know, whatever. All of the excess batter that's left over from your cold process soap. Whenever I make these, I just have the sponges set up and ready to go, and all of the remains from all of my soap making for the day ends up in it, and so they all essentially end up looking this color, gray. But I also do one just specifically with my face wash, with my face soap too. That's just my face soap because I love it for my face. Nice gentle exfoliation and everything. And again, yeah, they're marketed and sold as pool things to put in the pool, and they didn't work great in my pool, but they do work great in this. And from what I can tell, because specifically if you look on Spongel's website, they're made out of something that's not recyclable, which is another reason why I don't you know, mess with them and like sell them and do anything like that, because I like to be as eco-friendly as possible. But for me, with all of this, I just clean it out and I make a new one for myself, you know, you reuse it. Oh, I also wanted to show you this. We were talking about the pH of melt and pour and everything. So I thought, hey, we have both out at the same time. Let's check it. So as you can see, that's popping in at 8.3. And the fresh soap batter from the one that I just made and scraped all the soap onto the sponge or whatever, same soap, it's coming in at 9.6, 9.7. Yeah, so that's fresh soap batter. So yeah, there is a pH difference between melt and pour and cold process. You should test your melt and pour and tell me what you get for that, you know, in your own investigations. So there is that. Anyway, so the sponges themselves, I am not recommending that you do this. I am fast talking and nervous because I don't want to be the person that's putting weird stuff in melt and pour, but also I do put weird stuff in melt and pour. It's this sponge. And is it going to do something bad to me? I mean, I really hope not. From everything that I could tell, it's just a sponge. It's just made out of, you know, non-recyclable materials, and that's your loofah, or not your luffa loofah, you know what I mean, but your little shower poof, all those things. And so it's weird for sure, but it accepts soap like nobody's business. Those things get so infused, and they go from weighing nothing to, you can get it to weigh almost, I don't know, I think the biggest one that I got, it was really swollen, but it was like 9-10 ounces worth of soap in there. Lasted forever. Get the exfoliation. It's beautiful. Also, that's the lather from the recipe that I showed you the other day with the triple milled soap thing, and it's delightful. But yeah, it's a really fun, weird product. That's my secret shame. And like I said, since I was poking fun of at the soap makers on TikTok, I thought it's only fair to show you my weird stuff that I put in soap that I've never shown you before. So there's my dirty secret, and I don't, like I said, I'm not condoning this behavior, but if you wanted to try it and you want to tell me, that would be cool too. That's all. And this is the lather from the cold process version. And also it's delightful. Tiny, tight little bubbles, super moisturizing. It's beautiful. You're going to get to see the pour that I, did this for. And I actually used, the dividers and everything in just a few days. So that's fun. And here's the weird stuff that I do. But I have two of these in my shower for me all the time. And so there's that. They're awesome and weird. Okay, I'm embarrassed. Bye. And there it is, some adorable sponges that, yeah, can totally be reused. I mean, obviously, if you have the sort of, if you have like a customer base, obviously don't reuse the sponges, right? But for your own personal use, yeah, once you finish off with the flowers or whatever sponge you end up getting, you can totally, wash that out, do the things, and put more soap in it, and continue on with your merry way and continue to reuse it. I love the exfoliating nature of sponges in general, sponges or body poofs in the shower. I've never been like a washcloth kind of girl. I like the friction that comes with a poof or a sponge. And for these, yeah, I love them. I have one that is saturated and contains my face soap, and I have another that's for body, and you can do all kinds of fun stuff in it. You can use an exfoliating soap in it. You can use a salt soap in it. Really, it will accept almost anything. I've yet to find a type of soap that it won't accept for, just funsies, or because you want to get rid of your excess soap batter and you're tired of making sample bars. There's a lot of cool uses for this, so I hope you guys find some. If you do it, let me know. Let me know how you like it, for sure. I hope you guys had a lot of fun today. I am out of here. I've got a lot to do. You guys know the drill. Sudsers, you guys all have a lot to do too. Thank you for spending time with me and checking in with me while you are out doing all of those things. I appreciate you. For the rest of you, hello, hi, you exist too. If you want to be a Sudser, you can do that. There's a subscribe button. It's real easy. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.